very good evening and welcome to the news tonight, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you all that's making news this Monday evening, starting with the headlines. West Bengal records 80%, Assam 78% voting as both states kick off the over-month-long poll process in 5 states. Mehbooba Mufti takes oath as the first woman and 13th Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. 22 ministers and Deputy Chief Minister BJP's Nirmal Singh also sworn in. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley pitches for a low-interest regime, says the industry is fighting a battle of credibility and should adopt a positive and ethical approach towards bad debts. Congress leader A.K. Antony and Naga People's Front leader K.G. Kenyam take oath as the new members in Rajya Sabha. And the Panama Papers take the world by storm, along with the names of Xi Jinping, Nawaz Sharif and Lionel Messi. List of 500 Indians with offshore accounts revealed. All that in a bit, but first up, let's get you all the assembly election related news in our special segment, Verdict 2016. Well, over 78% voting was recorded in Assam's 65 assembly constituencies, which went to polls today, deciding the fate of 539 candidates. Several heavyweights, including Chief Minister Arun and the BJP's chief ministerial candidate Sarbanand Sonowal's fate, was sealed today. Here's a report.
The first of the two-phase Assam Assembly election began at 7 a.m. on Monday amid tight security, with 65 of the state's total 126 constituencies going to the polls. An electorate of over 95 lakh, including 46 lakh women, were eligible to exercise their franchise in 12,190 polling booths to decide the fate of 539 candidates. As many as 1,241 polling stations were identified as critical polling stations, 1,992 as hypersensitive and 3,739 as sensitive. Security was tightened across the state, with the Indo-Bangla border along the Barak Valley's Karimganj district being sealed. In all, 535 companies of the security forces were deployed in the 65 constituencies. Out of them, 433 companies were central forces and 102 from the state police. The first phase witnessed mostly a direct contest between the ruling Congress and the BJP-AGP-BPF alliance, though the AIUDF put up candidates in 27 constituencies. The Congress is contesting all 65 constituencies, the BJP 54 and its alliance partners AGP in 11 and BPF in 3. The AIUDF, another important contender, has put up candidates in 27, while the CPI and CPIM in 10 each. The CPI-MLL in 6, along with 60 others of unrecognized parties and 13 independents.
I voted for the first time and I'm very happy. This is a very important thing to do, and I wish everybody do it. And it's my vote and I decide.
This election has difference. It is not a wave. It is a very sincere election. Last 15 years, everybody will wanted to change the whole picture of the government policy.
Prominent Congress candidates in the fray were Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi from Tithabur, Speaker of the outgoing Assembly Pranab Gogoi from Shivsagar, and former Union Minister and prominent T-Tribe leader Pavan Singh Gathovar.
People want a change. I also want change. Assam should be go faster development, provide employment also. Everybody wants change. Who wants to remain static? I am fighting not against center. I want to cooperate with the center, but Modi's injustice. So long he will go on denying. So long he will go do injustice. I will fight against injustice, not against central.
The BJP star candidates in the first phase include Union Minister and party's Chief Ministerial candidate Sarbanand Sonowal from Majoli and Jorhat Lok Sabha MP Kamakya Prasad Tasa from Tithabur.
It is a unique place in the state of Assam, and that's why, but they have a lot of problems, difficulties, the lack of communication infrastructure facilities, and many where they're deprived of the modern growth. So in the near future, we'll have to take all possible measures to make Majuli growth, develop and also visible in the map of the world.
While the Congress looks forward to retaining power for the fourth successive term, the BJP has called for a parivartan to usher in development. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, in West Bengal, 80% voting was seen in the state. 18 constituencies spread across 3 western districts of West Midnapur, Bankura and Purulia went to polls amid tight security. Here are more details.
18 constituencies of West Bengal Assembly went to polls on Monday. The constituencies are in the Jungle Mahal area and the Maoist-affected districts of Purulia, West Midnapur and Bankura. Polling booths opened amid tight security at 7 a.m. in the 18 constituencies, 9 in Purulia district, 3 in Bankura and 6 in West Midnapur. A multi-layered security ring was put in place around the constituencies to ensure free and fair polling.
वोट जरूरी है हमारे लिए, देश के लिए, जो अच्छा काम करेगा, जो अच्छा ही करेगा, उसके लिए वोट जरूरी है।
हाँ, दिया इधर वोट दिया, किंतु हमको तो कोई सुविधा नहीं मिलता है। हाँ, सरकार से सुविधा चाहिए हम लोग को।
An electorate of 41 lakh were eligible to exercise their franchise in 4,945 polling booths to decide the fate of 133 candidates in 18 constituencies. 172 companies of the Central Paramilitary Forces were pressed into action to ensure smooth polling. Voting began at 7 a.m. in all the 18 constituencies and came to an end at 4 p.m. in West Midnapur and Bankura and went out at 6 p.m. in Purulia. Among major candidates in the fray are State Minister Sukumar Hansa of the Trinamool Congress from Jhargram and CPIM's Pulin Bihari Bhaske contesting from Gopi Ballavpur.
In our electoral system, the vote is an important thing. So we have to give vote so that we can choose the candidate who will go to the Vidhan Sabha and they will represent us.
There will be 6 more days of polling for the 294 assembly seats in the state. The last day of polling is on May 5th. Counting of votes will take place on the 19th of May. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
On to Tamil Nadu now. In ending intense negotiations spread over weeks, the DMK today allotted its key ally, the Congress, 41 seats for the May 16th assembly polls. The discussions to identify the constituencies that each of them would contest, though, will begin later. Here's the report.
The Congress party will contest 41 seats in the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls as part of the seat-sharing agreement with the DMK. The deal was struck after days of negotiations between DMK chief M. Karunanidhi and senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad in Chennai on Monday.
I'm sure that under the leadership of, at the national level, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and at the state level, under the leadership of our DMK leader Karunanidhi ji, will be able to form the government. And I have seen that for the last few decades, it is never that the AIDMK has been in power for 2 consecutive times.
எத்தனை தொகுதிகளில் காங்கிரஸ் கட்சி போட்டியிடுவதென முடிவு செய்யப்பட்டு 41 தொகுதிகளில் போட்டியிடுவதற்கான முடிவு செய்யப்பட்டு அதற்கான ஒப்பந்தம் இன்றைக்கு கையெழுத்தாகி இருக்கிறது.
Both the parties have haggled over seats for some time now, with the Congress asking for 63 seats, but DMK only willing to offer about 25 to 30 seats. The Congress wasn't in a position to bargain for more seats as a faction led by former Union Minister G.K. Vasan left the party to form the TMC. The agreement comes against the background of intense bilateral discussions between the DMK and the Congress. Also, TNCC held a series of discussions with its state and central leadership. Recently, TNCC chief EVKS Elangovan held talks with party Vice President Rahul Gandhi as well over the issue. It was decided by the Tamil Nadu Congress to push for at least 45 seats and in a worst case scenario climb down a few seats and conclude the deal, and it has worked out as was expected.
The major share number will go to DMK, but there are other allies also. The DMK has already tied up with number of other political parties.
In the 234 seats in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the DMK has allotted 54 seats to its allies. The Congress has been allotted 41 seats, MMK and IUML 5 seats each, and other smaller parties like the PMK, TNP, WP, VTK and SSP were given 1 seat each. These parties will contest under the DMK's Rising Sun symbol. Tamil Nadu will go to polls on the 16th of May in a single-phase election, and counting of votes will take place on the 19th of May. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
On to more national news. And People's Democratic Party Chief Mehbooba Mufti was today sworn in as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir amid tight security. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today extended his best wishes to the new government.
A historic day for Jammu and Kashmir. Mehbooba Mufti sworn as the state's first woman Chief Minister. Taking the oath of office along with her were 22 ministers, including Deputy Chief Minister BJP's Nirmal Singh.
See, my advice is simple. Follow Mufti Saab's agenda, which has been finalized by both the parties. Develop the state of Jammu Kashmir. Take care of the people of all regions and all religions.
The entire country is moving forward at a very fast track on a development journey led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and all of us are keen that the state of Jammu and Kashmir should not be left out of this development journey, and I'm sure the present government which is taken over today will live up to the development plank.
इसमें कोई शक नहीं कि मुफ्ती साहब निजी तौर पर मैं मानता हूं कि हमारे दोस्त थे, तो महबूबा जो है वह काफी सक्रिय यानी उसकी पार्टी के नेता है.
VIPs who attended the function included former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah and Union Ministers Venkaiah Naidu and Jitendra Singh. PDP MP Tariq Hamid Kara and Congress boycotted the ceremony.
Congress party's decision to boycott this oath-taking ceremony is, I consider it very unfortunate. Oath-taking ceremony is a moment of joy for democracy, democratic lovers. They should not have opted to boycott this.
मैंडेट का सम्मान तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी खुद ही नहीं कर रही. भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जिन मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ा था और जिस तरह से उन्होंने पीडीपी से सरकार बनाई है, वो तो मैंडेट के बिल्कुल विरुद्ध और विपरीत है.
A law graduate, 56-year-old Mehbooba entered politics in 1996 by joining Congress along with her father. Since then, she emerged as a dominant force in the politics with a grassroots connect. A mother of two daughters, she acquired the image of a fiery leader, winning her first assembly seat victor as a Congress candidate from her home segment of Bij Bihara. She took over the reins of the party in 2008, taking the PDP to single largest party status in the 2014 assembly elections. In March 2015, with her father Mufti Muhammad Saeed, the PDP formed the government in JNK in alliance with the BJP. This time though, the BJP's share in the cabinet has increased from 6 to 8 berths and 3 ministers of state. The PDP has 9 cabinet ministers instead of 11 last time. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, a day ahead of the RBI's first bi-monthly monetary policy review for 2016-17, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Monday pitched for easier monetary policy. He in fact argued that high interest rates can make the economy sluggish. Addressing the CII annual session, Jaitley said that the government had stuck to fiscal deficit commitments and kept inflation under control. He hoped that the movement would continue in order to make the economy more competitive with more competitive interest rates. The finance minister also stressed that the debate on crucial economic issues like interest rates should move in the right direction in India. Jaitley also said that the issues of persons who depend on interest income, like retired professionals, could be addressed by pension funds. Congress leader A.K. Antony and Naga People's Front leader K.G. Kenyam were today administered the oath as members of the upper house by the chairman Muhammad Hamid Ansari. Antony was re-elected to the Rajya Sabha from Kerala, while Kenyam was elected unopposed from Nagaland. They are among 8 leaders who were re-elected or elected to Rajya Sabha recently, including the Deputy Leader of Congress in Rajya Sabha, Anand Sharma from Himachal Pradesh, CPM Leader Jharna Das Baidia from Tripura, JDU MP Virendra Kumar, CPM MP Soma Prasad K from Kerala, and Rani Nara and Ripun Bora from Congress from Assam. And now let's take you through what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. The Supreme Court today granted bail to former Delhi University professor G.N. Sai Baba, who was arrested on charges of having links with Maoists. He was arrested on the 9th of May in 2014 by the Maharashtra government. JDU Chief Sharad Yadav, who served as the party chief for 3 terms, resigned from the post today. He's unlikely to contest for the party's presidency again. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is all set to lead the party when it elects a new president in its National Council meeting on the 10th of April. A special court sentenced JIPL directors RS Rungta and RC Rungta to 4 years in jail in the coal scam case. The court also imposed a fine of 5 lakh rupees each and 25 lakhs on JIPL Private Limited. A special court on the 28th of March convicted the company and the Rungtas, who were accused of criminal conspiracy and cheating. The Supreme Court today asked the central government in fact, in 2 weeks on a PIL seeking the cancellation of license issued to Ranbaxy Laboratories Limited for allegedly selling substandard drugs in India. Advocate Emil Sharma said that Ranbaxy was fined $500 million by the US Food and Drug Administration for manufacturing adulterated drugs. The centre today withdrew its appeal from the Supreme Court against the Allahabad High Court verdict holding Aligarh Muslim University as a non-minority institution. Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi told the Apex Court that he is making a statement on behalf of the centre and not AMU, which has also filed an appeal. With a quick break here, we'll be back with more international news in a bit. Stay with us.
From 91 onwards, we're a much more open economy, and we've benefited from it.
We made a mistake because we should have first had a GST in place.
I mean, an effort was made to put GST in place 5 years ago. What is the lesson? The lesson is let's get it done now. The entrepreneurs very often come to the bank in a Fiat in order to get a loan. And then when they need it to be restructured, they come in a Mercedes.
Watch Montek Ahluwalia articulate his views on state of the economy only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you more news now. In a huge leak of confidential documents from Panama law firm has revealed how the rich and powerful worldwide use tax havens to hide their wealth. The Indian Express, which was part of the investigation, says that it went through over 36,000 files and has revealed around 500 Indian names whose records were hacked. In fact, the government declared that action will be taken against unlawful accounts held abroad by Indians and has now ordered a multi-agency investigation.
Forget WikiLeaks. In what is being described as the world's biggest leak, details of offshore accounts of world leaders, celebrities and power players have been divulged. On the list are names as big as Xi Jinping, Nawaz Sharif and Lionel Messi. 500 Indians, including film stars and well-known industrialists, also find mention.
CPM considers this as a very serious revelation. Now, the authenticity of that will have to be established by the government. But this gives an indication why for 2 years the promise made by the Prime Minister during the election campaign that all the black money will be unearthed, but for 2 years nothing has happened.
The question of legality and illegality in the case of each transaction would have to be gone into, whether somebody has broken the extant laws of the land.
कितने दिन से मुद्दा है? जो सरकार बनी है वो सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा नंबर 1 पे तो यही था कि 15 लाख रुपए बाहर से लाएंगे, तो उसमें पनामा भी आता है.
The offshore account details are based on documents from the law firm Mossack Fonseca, based in Panama. The documents were passed to a German newspaper, which then shared them with the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. 107 media organizations in 78 countries collaborated in the investigation. The document details how the rich and the powerful allegedly hide assets to avoid taxes or even launder money. The Indian Express says its 8-month investigation of over 36,000 files has revealed around 500 Indian names. However, not all offshore dealings are illegal. Since 2013, Indians have been permitted to set up companies abroad. The law firm has described the release of information as campaign against privacy. Amid the Panama leak, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley warned of action against tax adventurism. He said all unlawful financial holdings abroad will face action.
We have constituted a multi-agency group to monitor all the information and to collect further information in this regard. That multi-agency group will comprise of various government agencies which deal with this subject, the CBDT, the FIU, the FT and TR, as also the representatives of the Reserve Bank.
The latest list brings the spotlight back on the NDA government's promise to recover black money stashed abroad. It was one of the biggest election promises made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Panama Papers have whipped up a storm not only in India but across the world as well. The list names political leaders, sports figures and influential personalities across the globe. Panama's government has now pledged to vigorously cooperate with any legal probe that might be launched in the wake of this data leak.
Elected leaders and top officials from around the world are issuing denials and are outraged at allegations that they used secret offshore companies and accounts to hide billions of dollars. Among the biggest names that figure in the list are friends and family of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Though President Putin's name does not appear, the list shows his friends have earned millions from deals that seemingly could not have been secured without his patronage. The Kremlin has dismissed the allegations as a series of fib, while many Russians say Putin will not be affected by the offshore deals allegations.
В России обнаружились, счета и компании, которые принадлежали одному из ближайших друзей Владимира Путина. И, в общем-то, та совокупность доказательств, которые нашли журналисты в этих документах, говорят о том, что эти офшоры могли быть связаны с Владимиром Путиным.
Meanwhile, the family of Pak PM Nawaz Sharif also figures in the list. While Nawaz's family remained defiant, opposition leader Imran Khan issued a swift call for action against him after the release. He said our stance is vindicated again as Sharif's wealth stashed abroad is exposed. The country's accountability watchdog, tax authorities and election commission must take action.
Family members जो हैं, वो आज से नहीं एक तवील अरसा से मुल्क से बाहर हैं. हम में से भी बहुत सौ के family members जो हैं वो बाहर के मुल्कों में मुलाजमत भी करते हैं, कारोबार भी करते हैं, सनत भी लगाते हैं. तो इसमें कोई अजीब बात नहीं है, कोई गैर कानूनी काम उन बच्चों ने नहीं किया.
Iceland's Prime Minister Sigmundur David Gunnlaugsson is expected to face a no-confidence vote this week over allegations that he used a secret offshore firm to hide millions of dollars in the British Virgin Islands. He walked out of an interview when he was questioned on his offshore links. But he insisted that he and his wife have scrupulously followed the law. Other governments, however, have started acting on the information. The UK, France, Australia and Mexico have pledged to investigate for possible cases of tax evasion. French President François Hollande thanked the whistleblowers for revealing the names, adding that all the information revealed will lead to investigation brought out by the tax authorities and to legal proceedings. Germany demanded transparency from Panama after the papers leak.
Das, was wir gestern Abend erfahren haben, das kommt ja nicht völlig überraschend. Und auch wenn Deutschland nicht im Fokus steht, so ist es doch klar, dass das jetzt Diskussion, dass es weitere Bewegung in eine Diskussion bringen wird, die wir ja schon sehr intensiv führen.
The documents go back decades and reference 12 current or former world leaders as well as 128 other politicians and public officials. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to more international news. And migrants sent back from the Greek island of Lesbos began arriving in Turkey on Monday. Their return is under a disputed European Union scheme aimed at closing the main route by which 1 million people poured across the agency to Greece in the last year. 66 migrants left a port on Chios Island on Monday for Turkey. The migrants, mainly from Afghanistan and Pakistan, were accompanied by Frontex officers and left for the town of Dikili in Turkey. Under the EU-Turkey deal, Ankara will take back all migrants and refugees who entered Greece illegally. In return, the EU will take in thousands of Syrian refugees directly from Turkey and also rewarded with more money, early visa-free travel and progress of its EU membership negotiations.
Yok henüz. İlk gelen parti içinde işte Iraklı, Pakistanlı, Bangladeşliler var. Suriyeliler geldikten sonra biz bunların kaydını yapacağız. Ve ondan sonra da diyeceğiz ki şu kadar Suriyeli geldi. Şimdi siz şu kadar Suriyeliyi Avrupa'ya alın. Bu mekanizma böyle işleyecek.
On to news from Pakistan, and flash floods killed at least 63 people in the northwest of the country. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 47 people were killed and 37 others injured as torrential rain toppled houses and caused landslides. Many roads and bridges were swept away by flood waters in different parts of the province. The Met Department said that widespread rains and thunder showers accompanied by strong gusty winds are likely to persist in western and upper parts of the country for the next 24 hours. And now let's get you some more international news updates in Global Buzz. Thousands of people in Poland marched against proposals to tighten the country's already restrictive abortion laws. Pro-choice activists rallied outside Warsaw's parliament on Sunday to urge the new Conservative government to drop plans for a total ban on pregnancy terminations. The new proposal only allows abortions if the mother's life is in danger. It would also lift the maximum jail terms for those carrying out illegal terminations from 2 to 5 years. Maldives police used pepper spray to break up a protest by journalists and activists accusing the government of stifling press freedom. The police also detained 19 journalists. About 50 protesters rallied near the president's office on Sunday against the government's move to criminalize defamation as well as other measures allegedly taken against the media. Air France staff are threatening mutiny after the airline told its female cabin crew members that they had to put on headscarves before flying into Iran. The staff accused Air France of attacking individual freedom after the dress code was announced ahead of the resumption of flights to the Iranian capital of Tehran next month. In an internal email, Air France said that cabin crew members, the female cabin crew members, had to wear pants during the flight and put on loose-fitting jackets and headscarves before disembarking the plane when it arrived in the strict Islamist country. At least 7 people, including 5 children, drowned in Cambodia when a car packed with passengers slipped off a ferry and plunged into a river. The incident took place on Sunday night in southern Kandal province when a driver boarded a local ferry at what investigators say was an unsafe speed. And now let's change tracks. Get you all the latest from the world of sports in Sports Beat. In cricket, Pakistan's head coach Waqar Younis today stepped down from his post following his team's humiliating exit from the World T20 tournament at the group stage. The 2009 champions had been widely criticised by fans following a lacklustre performance with just one victory against the lowly ranked Bangladesh and big losses to India, New Zealand and Australia. Waqar Younis took the job for the second time in 2014, having previously held the post in 2010-11. Football club Chelsea today appointed Italy boss Antonio Conte as their new first-team head coach. Former Juventus boss will begin a 3-year contract after his country takes part in Euro 2016. Meanwhile, Gus Hiddink, who replaced the sacked Jose Mourinho, will remain in charge of the Blues until the end of the season. The final of Euro 2016 takes place on the 10th of July. Novak Djokovic beat Kei Nishikori in straight sets to win the Miami Open for the record-equaling 6th time. The world number 1 matched Andre Agassi's Miami tally with a 6-3, 6-3 triumph in 1 hour 26 minutes. Djokovic also became the first man to win the Indian Wells Miami double 3 years in a row and surpasses Roger Federer as the ATP's leading prize money winner. Germany's Nico Rosberg romped to his 5th win in a row for Mercedes ahead of Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen and pole position holder Lewis Hamilton, who finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel was eliminated on the warm-up lap itself as his car reportedly spit molten metal. Rosberg has won both races this season and leads the drivers' standings with 50 points. Manchester United defeated Everton 1-0 in the Premier League on Sunday. Anthony Martial's 8th goal of the season was also United's 1,000th Premier League goal scored at Old Trafford, thereby becoming the first team to score 1,000 home goals. The club also celebrated the 60th anniversary of Sir Bobby Charlton's association with the Reds by renaming a stand on him. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.